Hi, my name is Deepthi. I'm an engineer turned teacher turned therapist. And welcome to this special two-part series. And this is part one of understanding adult anger, especially with respect to parenting. Today, we'll be diving into a story many parents can relate to. Recently, a mother of a 7-year-old child reached out to me and she told me that her son just doesn't listen. Out of sheer frustration, during conversations, during confrontations, she ends up hitting her child or screaming at her child. And later, she feels guilty about it. If you have ever felt something like this, then you're not alone. Parenting can test even the calmest person amongst us. But where does the anger come from? And what can we do about it? Anger doesn't just come out of nowhere, it has roots. And unless we understand where our anger is coming from, we end up reacting instead of responding to our children. In my experience, anger comes from these five main sources. Number one, learned mindsets. We often carry very limited mindsets about our children. They are learned. The reason I call them learned mindsets is because they are coming from something that we have seen in the child, and now we believe this is what or this is who the child is. My child is bad. My child cannot sit. My child is extremely hyperactive. He cannot listen to me. He does not respond properly to me. He's disrespectful. He's rebellious. These mindsets are coming from our previous interactions with our children. And once we think this is who my child is, what we unconsciously do is we put our child and ourselves in a box. And we start functioning from within the confines of that particular box. These learned mindsets make both the parent and the child feel helpless. Like the parent thinks this is who my child is, so I have to be more strict with my child. And the child feels this is who I am, I will continue being this person. There is no help. So, what we do is we stop seeking answers from a place of calm and we are engaging in fights with our children day in and day out, hoping to control or curb their behaviors. It is an exhaustive and spirit breaking endeavor for any parent. We have to understand that these behaviors that we are seeing are basically just symptoms, they are not the root causes of why the child is behaving a certain way. We begin treating these symptoms, these behaviors like disobedience or rebelliousness, and we forget or we don't realize that we need to address the deeper needs of the child. And this cycle leads to more guilt, more conflict, and lesser connection with the child. But the moment we break the confines of the box, we will start seeing the possibilities and not the problems. And we create a space for change and heal. Number two, learned behavior. Have you had moments when you feel like, oh my God, I'm behaving exactly like my parent? Let me give you an example. One of my friends recently told me she used to get hit if she spilled milk or if she spilled any kind of liquid. She used to feel very irritated when her child spilled something or if the child was making a mess. It used to rile her up. And she started seeing that she was becoming a little violent with her child. In therapy, she found out her actions were tied to her childhood. She never realized she was acting based on what she had seen. It was just something that she had picked up in her childhood. When she got hit, she used to feel scared, but she didn't make much sense of it at that point of time. It was just a stored memory in her body. Your body remembers, even if your brain, even if your memories don't remember certain things, body doesn't forget. All those things that she felt when she was a child, it made her feel uncomfortable, scared. And immediately for an adult, instead of feeling scared, we just jump over to the anger part. And that is how immediately her body became frustrated and wanted to lash out. Knowing where your anger comes from is the first step to dealing with your anger, right? Think about it. Where is your anger coming from? Is it a learned behavior? Is it something that your parents or some other adult has passed on to you and your body is recognizing it even without you having to think too much about it? These are questions we need to ask ourselves. Number three, stress and tiredness. When I was a kid, I remember my mom, who is a doctor, she came back from office, from her workplace, from the hospital after 12 hours of shift. She looked tired, but at that point of time, my mind didn't register that. I just happily went up to her and started talking, telling her things. Non-stop I was talking. And my mother, she started scolding me, saying, like, what is wrong with you? Can't you see I've just now come from office? Can you stop talking for a minute? And that hurt me very bad. But luckily, after my mother was well rested, she came back and explained how tired she was because of her day and that she would actually appreciate few moments of quiet when she walks into the house. Understandable. But imagine if she had not told me that, right? Sometimes parents just lash out simply at their child, thinking the child will understand. And when we assume that the child will know because we are tired, we are screaming at them, or we are being angry with them, that's a big misconception. We have to explain. We have to explain where our anger is coming from, whether it be from our tiredness or something else. If you're constantly stressed, your nervous system will be in overdrive, and every small thing that your child does will feel like a threat. Number 4, unmet needs. Have you ever tried to pour something out of an empty cup? Doesn't work, right? Just like that, we all have needs like sleep, rest, emotional support. Obviously, 7 to 8 hours are non-negotiable sleep hours, and I become cranky when I don't get that much of sleep in my system. Emotional support. Who are your emotional support in your life? You need a person with whom you can have a conversation, download your stress, make sense of things. You need a person to talk to even make sense of small things happening in your life. Do you take time for your own self? Do you practice your hobbies? A lot of parents tell me, I don't have time. I loved painting, but I don't have the time anymore after I became a parent. But I need to take that time doing things which I really love so that my cup gets full. A lot of us, be it the man of the house or the woman of the house, they don't feel appreciated. They don't feel seen by their partners, children, or extended family. They feel like they have been working, pouring, but no one appreciates or no one cares about them. No one even says a simple thank you for the breakfast that they have made. The moment you burn a toast or burn a dosa, the other person will tell you what is not good and how you can make it better. But on the days when that toast is not burned or the dosa is perfect, do they say thank you to you? Do they tell you, like, I really appreciate having you in my life? These are emotional support systems in our life. If you don't have that, that creates resentment. What about predictability or structure? Especially this applies to smaller children, but even adults. When you have a structure for your kid, the kid is calmer, you feel calm. When you know what is going to happen next, you feel a lot more safe and in control of your day. When you don't know what is going to happen next, everything is out there in the air. It feels like you're always running from one thing to the other without having the time to catch a breath. What about connection with your partner? Do you get the time to sit down and talk about your day with your partner? Do you have time to sit and discuss what is important to you, share about the day, have bigger dreams? What do you guys want to do together? Because these are needs. They are not just something like, if it happens, good. If it doesn't happen, it's okay. No. When your needs are not met, you are going to feel more and more resentment building up. And that resentment usually turns into anger towards your children who are easy prey. Let me be honest with you, because they are not going to talk to you back. They are not, especially little children, they are not going to talk back to you. Or you might start developing fights, or you might start showing it to even your partner. And it results in more and more buildup of miscommunication and disconnection from your family members. Fifth source, medical factors. We usually discard the importance of vitamin D deficiency, hormonal imbalance, or high BP. But medically, it has been proven to have high impact on our moods. If you are in your 30s and you find yourself feeling more and more irritable, I highly recommend that go and get a full body checkup done. Because many times we do not realize that our body is craving healthiness, that balance, and that is causing us to be more and more irritable towards our family members. Parental anger is real and it matters, but it is also understand. Half of your work is done when you realize where your anger is coming from. And for that, I have created a very simple principle. If you just go through it, it'll take you like probably a minute or two. and it will quickly tell you where your anger is coming from. And in part two, I will be sharing about how your parental anger affects your child and one true time tested method that I always fall back on to actually help me during my moments of friction or anger at home. The anger reflection toolkit is linked down below. And if you do not see the part two of this particular series, please hold on. I'll be releasing it the week after, and I'll be adding that card in this particular video. I hope you enjoyed today's video and see you in my next video. Bye from Everything Parenting with Dee.